Where's Cut? Damn me. He shot and he missed.
That insane clip you just watched was rapper GBO Gaston shooting at a comedian by the name of Mr. Get It Done during an Instagram livestream in front of 1,000 people. This whole situation began back in March of 2022 while Mr. Get It Done was getting a haircut at a barbershop on Manchester Avenue in Los Angeles, California. Mr. Get It Done would start up an Instagram livestream and casually chat with his fans and friends while at the barbershop. During this, GBO Gaston would request to join the Instagram live and started to ask for Mr. Get It Done's exact location. For those of you unaware of who GBO Gaston is, he is a failed Minecraft YouTuber turned rapper who gained notoriety on social media after falsely claiming to be the killer of beloved LA hip-hop artist Nipsey Hussle just moments after the news broke about Nipsey's death.
Look, this right here, this nigga said I shot Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, no, it's bracket. Nipsey Hussle just shot that dumb boy. Then with his daughter, I shot him. I was like, hey, where you from? He was like, I'm from 60. I said, all right, GBO, shot him, got loose. I'm on the E-way right now doing the dash. I got away from the crime scene.
Once it became clear to the public that GBO Gaston had no involvement in the murder of Nipsey Hussle, Gaston would become addicted to the attention he got from the situation and would continue dissing popular gang members as well as their neighborhoods.
I saw kids, I gotta blow it down. D3R is dead on me. Okay? You see it dead on me burning right now. Look at the face, get the face. Show the face, show it dead on me burning. Look, from my set, look it. Went to Cud Hood, right? Went to Cud Hood. I threw a booty hole at Cud House and now Cud dead on me burning. I'm looking for my set in the blower on me and I'm walking off.
These antics put a huge target on his back and led him to getting pressed in public multiple times, as well as getting his car shot at and even smashed with a stick.
Man, you want homies waiting for you downstairs to fuck you up.
I got shot. I got shot. Get out of here. Never hit me though. Hit the whip though. Not me. Hey, I'm still in town. Hey, who gave me blowers, fool? Take them back to the store, Jay.
Never. Tell blood.
But despite all of that, Gaston would continue to taunt these gangs, and each time he got progressively more reckless, which brings us back to the situation at the barbershop. After asking for Mr. Get It Done's location, Mr. Get It Done would fearlessly tell Gaston the location of the barbershop without a care in the world. Gaston would then proceed to leave the Instagram live and begin driving to Manchester Avenue. Around an hour later, Gaston would join back into Mr. Get It Done's Instagram live and begin demanding that he comes outside of the barbershop. Mr. Get It Done was away from the stream during his reappearance, which annoys GBO Gaston to the point where he starts saying that if Mr. Get It Done does not come outside, that he is going to shoot up the barbershop.
Bro, tell Cut come outside, fool, in the day, homie. Tell Cut come outside, bro. I'm gonna shoot up the spot if Cut don't come outside, bro.
With over 1,000 live viewers eagerly waiting to see the outcome of this situation, Mr. Get It Done returns to the live stream saying that he was outside waiting for Gaston the whole time.
Bro, take the live,
bro. I've been in the front the whole time.
Gaston then tells Mr. Get It Done to go back outside and bring the live stream with him. Gaston also turns the phone camera around to show the stream that he is actually just a few blocks away from the barbershop.
My mama, so I'm at Manchester right now. Go outside, nigga. Damn, I'm about to make a laugh. Go outside, cuz.
Oh yeah, he's at
What is he talking about?
Mr. Get It Done seems annoyed that Gaston is actually doing this right now and proceeds to call him the police. As Gaston gets closer to the barbershop, he masks up, puts his hoodie on, and drives faster. Mr. Get It Done is still completely unfazed about this and continues to walk back outside, ready for all of Gaston's smoke. Once Mr. Get It Done was outside, Gaston began to get really hyped up, shouting for Mr. Get It Done to stay right there and to keep showing himself on the live.
Bro, where you at, bro? What the okay, so stay right there,
I'm right here in the front.
Bro, why you keep not showing the live? What is you doing? I know,
bro,
stay right there. Stay right there, dead homies. Why you keep going inside?
I am
stay right there.
What are you talking about?
After a brief moment, Gaston races by the front of the barbershop going around 60 to 70 miles per hour, reaches over the passenger seat, and fires a singular shot at Mr. Get It Done.
Where's Cut? Damn me. He shot and he missed.
The bullet whizzes by just right in front of him, with the sound of the bullet hitting the wall next to him. The crazy part is that Mr. Get It Done hardly even flinched and says he shot and he missed in an almost disappointed type of tone. GBO Gaston then speeds off, hopefully in embarrassment, while being completely silent, then leaving the live. The Instagram live chat is in disbelief at what they just saw and proceeded to laugh at how pathetic Gaston was for doing all this. Meanwhile, Mr. Get It Done goes back into the barbershop and casually tells the story of Gaston shooting at him to the homies like it's just another regular old day. The shooting would go viral on social media due to how reckless GBO Gaston was and how nonchalant Mr. Get It Done's reaction was. You would think that the situation would get Gaston arrested, given how strict California gun laws are, as well as the fact that he literally live streamed it on Instagram, but somehow that did not happen. Gaston would return the next week with a new viral antic, which was recording himself pulling up to podcaster Adam22's house with a gun, yelling manically and spitting on his front gate.
Get my blower out your house. And off there ringing the doorbell. Stop with that popping. I'm right here, nigga. Damn, I'm ringing the fuck Adam. Hey, stop popping it. Bit on cuz. Hey, Adam, come outside. Stop popping in the interviews. Come. My blower on me.
Adam22 gave this no attention despite the video gaining traction online, so Gaston would begin to go after Adam22's protege, CripMac. Gaston would join an Instagram live that CripMac was also a guest in, and proceeded to flash his little gun around while disrespecting CripMac.
What up? Hey, fuck C-Mac and all this dead homies. Get my blower right here. C-Mac, bang it out with me.
You like a police.
Shut up. Let's bang it out. Nigga, fuck your dead homies. No.
CripMac could also see right through Gaston's clout chasing and called him the police and left the Instagram live. Karma would finally catch up to Gaston despite seeming to get away with some of the most disrespectful actions of all time. After Instagram decides to suspend his Instagram page, Gaston would end up getting the page back, but around the same time, he would crash and total his BMW 7 Series after recently getting it. Gaston would then post a video once again with his little gun while threatening people.
Come back outside. Hey, why the fuck they try to delete my account? And the blower's still on me. Nigga, ain't nobody lacking. Come over here. Hey, in a set. Look, I'm gonna give him a pass. Anyway, we walking right here on my chains on. In a set, walking down. I don't give a fuck. Show everybody around. So this is where I'm at every day. I'm still outside.
Fortunately, over time, social media users would get used to Gaston's desperate attempts for attention and began ignoring him, which caused him to fade into irrelevancy. Fast forward to now, GBO Gaston has impressively continued to hit new lows for himself after getting arrested in Rancho Cucamonga after brandishing a firearm at a female he was with. According to news outlets, once the police arrived to arrest Gaston, he barricaded himself inside an apartment and refused to come out, resulting in the SWAT team assisting in apprehending Gaston. Gaston would somehow be released back into the free world, but not for long, because in March of 2024, Gaston would be arrested yet again, this time on more serious charges. Allegedly back on February 2nd, 2024, just days before he was arrested for the incident involving SWAT, Gaston and a friend would rob a room at a Hyatt hotel, stealing a handgun, jewelry, and money. Once charges were officially pressed, Gaston was brought into jail and held on a $500,000 bond. While inside jail, he reportedly played crazy in order to be housed in the Twin Towers psych ward of the Los Angeles County Jail to avoid being placed in general population. Gaston eventually would come up with $50,000 sometime in May of 2024 and bonded out of jail. Days after being released, Gaston would post a series of Instagram stories begging to get back in touch with an ex-girlfriend, posting photos of him outside of her apartment. This ex-girlfriend wanted nothing to do with Gaston and began calling him out about how they met when she was 15 while he was 21 at the time. Gaston would deny these claims and proceed to still want to get in touch with this girl. A few days later, Gaston would post an Instagram story with his face all bruised up and swollen. Apparently, Gaston was hanging out at his house when her dad and other associates barged into his room and attacked Gaston. Gaston is still out on bond and is facing up to 35 years in prison for the armed robbery that happened at the Hyatt in February 2024. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed.